A growing number of Americans are actually leaning against obtaining a higher education. They don't think it's worth it, and it's understandable why they would think that. It is incredibly expensive. There's very little support for those who want to obtain higher education. And as we know, tuition has been rapidly increasing for decades now. There are more than 4 million fewer students in college now than there were 10 years ago. There has been a significant and steady drop nationwide in the proportion of high school graduates enrolling in college in the fall after they finish school, from a high of 70% in 2016 to 63% in 2020, the most recent year for which the figure is available, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. And it's understandable because the whole idea of going to college was, well, you're investing in your future, right? You're spending money and you're spending time getting this degree, which will mean more earning power once you graduate.
In theory.
In theory, exactly. But now students are finding themselves digging themselves in a massive economic hole, taking out loans, finding themselves in massive debt that they cannot discharge even if they file for bankruptcy. And a lot of people who do have that debt think, I'll never be able to pay this off. And then they don't qualify for home loans and things like that. So when you do a cost benefit analysis, the way the system's working right now is starting to make people think, maybe going to college isn't for me. And that makes me so incredibly sad, John.
It does too. I mean, I stayed on a college campus effectively until like 3 weeks ago. Like I was there for college and for grad school and all that. I think that there's a lot of value outside of just the cost benefit analysis that you were talking about.
Right.
Like, yes, one of the primary reasons you go is that you can get a certain type of job that maybe brings in a certain amount of money. But you also ideally get to study things you never would. You get to be exposed to not only types of information, but also types of people from around the country, from around the globe that you would never see. And then of course we can't forget that some percentage of the people who go to college are gonna go on to graduate school, and there's where you get into actually producing the knowledge that other people get to study. That is important too. One other important part of this I think we should talk about is that you said people are reevaluating that, but let's be clear, not all people are reevaluating that. I don't have the breakdown of socioeconomic status. I have a feeling it's probably not that the poorest and the richest are dropping off at the same rate.
No,
I have a feeling there's probably some correlation with less money there.
This is, in my opinion, a very intentional issue that is impacting people who are not wealthy. Because when you look at, there aren't very many opportunities left in this country to climb up an economic ladder. And education was thought of as one of those tools that people would use to get themselves higher up that economic ladder, right? But if it's unbelievably expensive and you have to take out massive loans just to get a bachelor's degree, does it really make sense? So the proportion of high school graduates in Tennessee who are going directly to college, for example, has fallen to 53%, down 11 percentage points since 2017. In Indiana, it dropped to 53% in 2020, down 12 percentage points from 5 years earlier. In West Virginia, 46% of 2021 high school graduates went on to college the following fall. 10 percentage points below the state's high of 56% in 2010.
It makes me so mad. Like Trump will say America's in decline, and what he means is I'm not president right now.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what a country in decline looks like. And it doesn't mean that college is necessarily for everybody, or if you didn't go, you're bad. It's not for everybody. And some people struggle a ton even to get through if that is their goal. But as a society, we should be working to have the resources so after high school, if you wanna go to college, you can. If you wanna go do an internship, you can. If you wanna travel, you can. If you wanna spend time finding yourself, you shouldn't immediately be thrown into the gears of capitalism. And we are rapidly losing even the limited opportunity that many people had for that up until recently.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.